Shalom. It's your brother Yerah, giving all praise to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash, giving you the spirit to do this lesson. Shalom to the elect of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the Lord will have mercy on these latter days. Shalom to the men of the Lord that are preaching and teaching on the highways and byways in sincerity and in truth. Shalom, shalom. And this is a report that just came out. I'll just go into it real quick and get a couple precepts. It says economy in reverse, initial jobless claims rise for second week. GDP, which is the gross domestic product, falls by a record 33%. It's the biggest economic contraction on record, dating to 1947. So this is talking about Great Depression levels here. You know, this is going around close to World War II. And it wasn't after World War II that they saw this big boom when all the soldiers came home and started having babies, and is what's known as the baby boomers today, that generation. But this is unprecedented. This is just showing you how big the economy has been hit just in the second quarter now. It says here more than 1.43 million people filed for unemployment benefits for the first time last week. According to weekly data released Thursday by the Department of Labor, it's the second straight week that the number has risen. On the 19th week in a row that the U.S. has seen more than a million claims. For context, the prior peak was 1982. So in 1982, this thing hit the peak at 695,000. But America has been averaging a million for the last 19 weeks in a row. So this place is going, the economy is completely decimated. Now we know Esau Edom, which is the so-called white man, is ultimately who's in charge of this, who's to blame. On one hand, he's doing it really to crash the dollar, but on the other hand, it's showing you how much damage he's actually done, and the straits that people are going to be put in these days, man. This is a sign of what's to come, and ultimately people who go out there and vote, for these politicians who say, kind of in their mind, if they do believe in God, this isn't the last days, or if they do believe in the Most High, and they know that this is the last day, they'll say, I got 5-10 more years, I might as well go vote for this or do that. Hey, y'all don't have that much time, man. There's a very good chance that this economy does not open back up, at all. Or if it does, it's going to be with some conditions. And we know the conditions that he's going to come with, which is the mark of the beast, which is the RFID chip. And it's going to begin with this whole mask situation about how you have to wear that. Then they're going to parlay that into the vaccine, as I see it, through the spirit, and then once you get all these dummy people all lined up and used to taking orders and covering their faces even at home, which is ridiculous, they're going to be highly susceptible to anything else that you suggest. It's just like those guys who hypnotize you. They're putting you in a trance-like state, so they can make you highly suggestible, and that's ultimately what they're doing here. I'll read a little bit more and get some precepts. It says the extent of the economic damage brought through the coronavirus pandemic was further revealed on Thursday, with the gross domestic product for the second quarter in a row sinking by a record 32.9% annualized. So that's annualized. What annualized basically means is they take a portion of the year, right, based on a trend, and then they kind of extrapolate it out of what. If the trend holds at this current pattern, then that's where it will be by the end of the year. So that's what they're guessing it's going to be, about 33%. But hey, it could get a lot worse. Annualized projections are just that. It's a projection. It doesn't mean that that's what it's going to actually end up being. Anything could happen, and this thing could spike. It could be 40%, 50%. By the end of the year. It says that number is a stark contrast to the robust growth seen before. Government was forced to tap the brakes in the economy to halt the spread of the coronavirus. Now, the government wasn't forced to do a damn thing, man. The government, America is in charge. They're in rulership. They're oppressing other countries. They have them in sanctions. They have occupy their countries with military bases. America does what they want, so they weren't forced to do anything. This is all part of what they wanted to do. Is planned, you know. So that there is bullshit. It says average GDP has been around 2% on an annual basis, but the mass shuttering of businesses, stores, restaurants has curtailed consumer spending, which powers almost 70% of the U.S. economy. So you see how much these greedy, fat, lazy Americans, they majority of this is spending, and a lot of that spending is just credit card debt. Credit card debt's at an all-time high. So is corporate debt, and a lot of those stock market gains come from stock buybacks, which they further indebt themselves to buy their own stock to artificially boost the stock market. You see how this witchcraft, that this place is run on. That's why the Lord said He was going to destroy this place utterly and entirely. He's going to burn it with fire. He can't stand the sight of this place. It's an abomination, really. And all this food and the pollution that you got to deal with. Hey, how can you want to stay here any longer, man? It's time for us to get the hell out of here. So we get out of here by repenting and coming back to the Most High. Let me get a couple precepts. That article's long, kind of. You can read the rest of it, but you get the gist of it. This $600 a week thing is about to go, and they may renew some version of it. Who knows? But America's through, man. This is it. Ain't no way of getting around it. Things will never ever be the same. And Esau's getting ready to make his move. Let's get some precepts here. This is Ecclesiasticus, so Sirach 10:8 says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So how did Esau, Edom, these so-called white people, get this kingdom? This is like this. There's a verse right here. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by. This is nobody else but Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. This is exactly how he got this country. This is exactly how he built his wealth, and he got his power and influence all over the planet Earth. Unrighteous dealings, because what did he do? He made treaties with the Gadites, our brothers, the northern tribes, the so-called Native Americans, and he broke every single treaty, and he took it. Injuries, he did injuries to them. He did injuries to Judah, the southern kingdom, Benjamin and Levi, and he fooled the entire world for the last 100 and so years that this dollar is worth a damn. Completely just gave him the okie doke. Oh, at first it was backed by gold, and psych, it's not backed by gold anymore, but we still gonna buy real resources with it. We still gonna buy real guns and real cars and weapons and all types of madness. And the Most High said because of that, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Now, what people is it going to be translated to? The Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And you brothers got to realize that we are a royal nation, a priesthood. And it's hard to believe that because of the shitty low level that we're at right now. But that's what the Most High deals with. He deals with the least. He likes to get his glory out of the things that seem the lowest, to show his power. This is James 5, and I know a lot of you brothers heard this before, but with the money situation, this is on point, So it comes out as many times as it needs to come out. It says, "Go to now," James 5:1. "Go to now, you rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, your garments are moth-eaten." So these riches that are corrupted, really what this is just it's showing America for what it really is. A consumer state that all they do is consume, and they do the bare minimum, and then and whatever they make, whatever profit they make, nobody saves any money, which Jake is not even in a position to save money. Usually he's he's poor usually, I was able to save some money for a little bit of time in my life, and then shit happens, man. The curses are real and they're on us, and some Jakes make it out and they are able to do okay, but for the most part, We can't really save money like that. And even if you could, Esau Edom has just proven that this money is worthless anyway. He's printing it by the trillions right now as we speak. Even if you were sitting on $1 billion when hyperinflation sets in, that's going to be worth nothing, man. So this is what the scriptures mean when it says your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth eaten. It says your gold and your silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were a fire. Because all these people are going to raise up, and they're going to get this place holy hell when food goes up, when a pound of beef is $500, and the rest of the world's going to look around, and he's going to have to change that money to that digital currency, which I believe through the Spirit is going to be directly linked to the mark of the beast, which is that RFID chip. It says, ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. And he did heap real treasure together. Fort Knox, when the last time you heard about the gold in Fort Knox? He's taking all the real resources, and he's giving you niggas a bunch of monopoly money that he can print whenever the hell he wants to. And who does he give it to? He doesn't give it to you so you can buy stuff. He gives it to bankers. In the 2009 financial crash, they kicked 5 million people out of their homes for faulty loans with trade and mortgage-backed securities. And what did they do to solve that problem? They printed trillions and trillions of dollars. And did they give it to the people who lost their homes? No, they gave it to these rich bankers. A lot of them are so-called Jews. So you see how you can never really come up. You can see why this American dream that you niggas are so fascinated with. You get whatever Esau allows you to get. Because the Most High has put him in rulership. So ultimately, that's where your trust, that's where your faith needs to be in Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Verse 4, behold the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, and that's the everyday working man. That's definitely Jake. It's definitely Issachar, Judah, Simeon, Levi, Benjamin. Not so much of our, really, yeah, all the South American tribes too. Asher, Naphtali, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the house, or entered into the ears, Salakia, into the ears of the Lord Sabaoth. Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton, because he's walking around with so much pride. And that's why I like how much pride Esau has. Because it's going to be a very beautiful thing to see that thing brought down. It says, ye have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in a day of slaughter, like you fatten up a cow, before you slaughter it. That's Esau. It says, you have condemned and killed the just, and he doeth not resist you. Because what can we do? He's laughing at you with the thought of reparations. He won't even give you that fake printed money, because that's how little he thinks of you, man. Money he can literally print on a whim. He won't even give that to you, let alone land. He wants to. Hey, this guy's got to go, man. Last precept. This is Job, and I love this. I love this chapter as well. Job 27. I started at 13. It says, "This is the portion of a wicked man with God, and the heritage of oppressors, and which they shall receive of the Almighty." Now, who are the oppressors? We all know who the oppressors are. It's the ones that are in rulership, that are ruling this place like they don't have any goddamn sense. Which they do have sense, but because that's what makes them wicked. They know what they're doing. This isn't incompetence. This is a mad psychopath who can't help himself. It says this is the portion of the wicked man with God, and the heritage of oppressors, which shall receive of the Almighty. If his children be multiplied, it is for the sword. So all these so-called white people that are living today, they said I ain't had nothing to do with what our forefathers did. Well, that's not what the Most High said. He said, if his children be multiplied, it is for the sword. He said, and his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. Because now you used to have Edomites used to be more industrious, right? They used to farm, they used to do things and build things with their hands. And now what do you have? You know, a bunch of lazy, fat Edomites who don't even want to work jobs that don't have air conditioning, man. And they're not satisfied with anything. They got to go get everything. As Habakkuk 2 said, you know, he enlargeth his desire, and it as hell and death. Because ultimately, this whole thing is based around greed and trying to be like the Most High. Because Esau forsook his birthright like an idiot. Verse 15 it says, "Those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widow shall not weep." It says, "Though he heap up silver as the dust and prepare raiment as the clay." So he's heaped up all this treasure, this money. He says he may prepare it, but the just shall put it on. So when you see this right here, 32.9% GDP, this is all signs that we're heading in that direction. One, it's about to be known that this money is bullshit. It ain't worth nothing. It's going to be known that the real resources, the elites of Esau Edom have been hiding it. You know, they've been hoarding things. They've been manipulating things through witchcraft. They let you know, it says, though he may prepare it, but the just shall put it on, and the innocent shall divide the silver. So ultimately, all these riches that you've gained, it is for not. It's for us. At the end of the day, the Lord is getting ready to translate this kingdom, and I can't wait. It's gonna be dark and gloomy. Matter of fact, let me get the day of the Lord of Zephaniah real quick. Oh, here we go. Can I get it from here? I was looking at Amos earlier. Zephaniah 1 and 14, the great day of the Lord Yahweh is near, and it hasteth and greatly, even the voice of the day of the Lord Yahweh. The mighty man shall cry there bitterly. That day is the day of wrath, the day of trouble and distress, and a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, and a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. So that's the day of the Lord that's coming, you know. And in that day, all of this is going to be destroyed, man. All this silver, all this money that you've gained, hey, it's all for the children of Israel, the children of the Most High, the gods, kings, princes, and princesses of the earth, man, and beyond. So this kingdom again is getting ready to be translated, as I said. And what is that translation going to look like? Just like this. A day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess. This is the translation of the kingdom. I can get this again. Sirach 10 and 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So there you have it, man. Esau, Edom, your days are numbered. You know, Shalak Rayam. Hopefully you brothers were edified. Call halal Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai Ba'ashim Rachach Wadash Wa Abad Babal.